Hey everybody, and welcome to this demo and presentation on construction PPM. There are four very specific areas I wanted to go through as we do this demo and talk about the different areas of construction PPM. The first one is around this whole notion of project centralization and working with very specific project types, very specific, in this case, construction project types, and the way we use templates for both the project types as it relates to the schedules as well as the sites. And then the other area that we want to take a look at is resource centralization and management, how we go about placing all of the resources that are going to be working in our projects in this centralized location. And then we'll get into team collaboration and communication, being able to get the assignments down to the team members and how they're going to be able to be notified of those assignments and then be able to even report their progress back up to the contract manager or project manager, however that's set up. And then we'll take a look at the reporting that we can get out of the tool, basically how we can work with these different dashboard options and also how we can interact with all of this on mobile devices and always being able to get access to this information. One of the first things that we want to look at when we start talking about a project management solution is this notion of project centralization and project types. And of course, that's the same thing in the world of construction, where you are going to want easy access to projects that you're working on and get access to that very valuable information about that particular project. Of course, the schedule status information for that project. You may want to capture financial information, what you've budgeted. You might also want to track the actual cost of certain tasks that you've been working with, maybe related to material, for example. You also want to be able to have certain types of projects for different construction projects that you're working on. And so those types will have specific schedule information already built into them in the form of templates. The very first thing that I'll see when I come into this particular area, and you can just think of this as the main hub for entering into construction PPM, and what you're seeing is just a list of the projects that you're currently working on and some different indicators based on, in this case, schedule, scope, and budget. You're also seeing that there is a type association to each of the individual projects. So as the projects are created, there is very specific information that we're tracking about these individual projects. Now, when I'm interested in drilling down into a particular project, I can either click on the link, as you can see here when I roll my pointer over one of these projects, it is in a form of a hyperlink. That means that I can now go into the details of this particular project. So I'm getting this high-level view of all the projects that I'm working on with these very specific indicators so that I can address. In this case, it's showing red here for schedule. Maybe I'm slightly behind. I can now go in and drill down into that particular project. I can also open up each of these individual projects in Microsoft Project Professional. And so it is very easy for me to just simply launch the application so that I can start working with Microsoft Project on the desktop with these schedules and save them and publish them and work with the schedules that way. So I'm just going to click on one of my other tabs, and you'll notice I have this tab open, but I'm in a slightly different area, and I'm in the details of one of my projects. So I, as a project manager, I own this particular project. I'm able to come in and just simply work with the information related to this particular project. And you can see that I'm capturing phase information, project type, contract type. I can also go into another detail page to find out, in this particular case, some financials. Here I've got a contract amount, but I'm also tracking a budget cost amount. I haven't captured any actuals at this point, but as soon as I do, they will flow right into this particular area. Then I can get into status information. Status information like this can be driven by the user, or it can be driven by a formula, for example, to give us different useful status indicators. And then you have the schedule. I'll click on the schedule page, which gives me the details into information related to this particular project. Now, what I'm looking at here is a view of very specific information, and in this case, I'm tracking the contract dollar amounts for the tasks. Now, when it comes to actually creating a new project, one of the valuable components to working with Construction PPM will be pre-built templates available to you, different types of projects that you're working on. In this case, in this demo build, we have this one project type simply called Construction PPM. In order to launch this project, it's just a matter of coming into New, clicking on Construction PPM, and then we can start filling out the project information here. So demo project. The very first thing I'm going to do is select the project type. Let's say this is private residential. And I'll hit finish. Any number of different things can happen at this point. For example, notifications can go out and let key individuals know that there is a new project that has been created within the system. As the owner of the particular project, I can come in and just select the different phases. This is the same information that we saw when we were looking at the other project. I can come in here and determine contract type information, provide a description of that particular project. And then now I'm just going to move through these different pages, essentially filling out information that I know at the moment and information that I can manage ongoing related to the project. The beauty of Construction PPM is that all of this is completely extendable. So the types and the number of fields that are specific to your organization can be, of course, customized and tailored within this environment. We can also capture very specific status information. In this case, notice we have schedule status, budget status, scope status. These can be driven by formulas. They can be more subjective. We also, of course, have the schedule template that is specific to this project type. So an important page here, or important area of working within a particular project, is the ability to have a pre-built template that will already have, in this case, you notice we have summary tasks and subtasks. There are already identified deliverables within this schedule template. I'll just pull over this sidebar here. You can see that the dependencies have already been created within this template. So it really gives the project manager a starting point for working on projects right from that point forward. So they can go in now and establish the start date, start to build their team and work with the resources. And we'll look at team building here in a moment.